Man, we have come a long way. Look at that. I just pulled this out. This is from my personal collection. That's Spawn #1 from a long time ago. I just kind of realized how gorgeous this copy is. I may need to go through it again and possibly get this graded because that's a pretty high grade copy of Spawn. That was pre ordered. So this wasn't printed and then shipped to a comic book store. This was printed and shipped directly to me. This was the first comic book that I ever pre ordered. And yeah, it's a really, really, really nice copy. But this is what we're here for. Spawn number 300. It has been a long, long journey, baby. I mean, look at this. You know it's a special issue when you get J. Scott Campbell to do interiors on something. When he's not doing like a cover, then yeah, you know something's up with this issue. Look at that. That is the power counter on Spawn currently. It's pretty low. I think this Spawn is gonna die off. I'm not real sure what exact. I didn't even know back then. Back then, I didn't know what happens when the Spawn's counter got to 000. And I still don't. But look at that. That's where the counter first started. Yeah, from there to there. It has been a hell of a journey. Congratulations, Todd McFarlane. Congratulations to everybody involved in this. This is the book that kind of made me realize that I need to start getting... I'm going to put Spawn back on my pull list, and I'm going to go through the possibly expensive task of collecting all 300 Spawns, the entire run of Spawn. I got a good start. I think I have the first 30 or so issues. But yeah, that's the game plan. But let me do an edit, put that back in its sleeve so it can stay safe, and my somebody, when I die someday, some people can have an argument over the beautiful copy of Spawn #1 that's worth $20. But yeah, let me do an edit. All right, let's get to it. First off, thank you for listening, thank you for watching. Hit a like, hit a subscribe. I am up in the man cave, and the man cave is getting taped off because the trim here is going to be a very brilliant white color, which my wife picked out. Is to be honest, I'm cheap, so it's leftover paint from a project she did downstairs, but it's oil-based paint, so I'm going to get high. I'm going to get really high when I do this stuff. But anyway, this is not AstroTurf. This is the real deal Spawn number 300. This is a real deal milestone. I remember the early days of Image Comics, when these young guys were breaking off. These guys were the hottest in the industry. They changed Marvel forever when they left. I mean, the explosion in popularity that they created, basically around the concept, and Todd McFarlane is the one who coined the phrase, why can't it be cool? Why can't it look cool? And he did that. That's what he did with Batman, and he got pushed back. And that's what he did all the way through his career with the big two. Especially, when he got to Spider-Man, he was doing Spider-Man with the big eyes. He was doing Spider-Man with the spaghetti string webbing all around him. And he used to get a lot of pushback from his editors, and he's talked about this a couple times, but he was going under the concept, why can't this look cool? Why can't him just swinging through here, swinging through this place, why can't it look cool? And he was very, very successful with that, and he created a comic book boom. But this is real deal. This is 300. I remember those days. It was really cool because nobody thought it would last. Nobody thought Image Comics would last. I didn't think Image Comics would become what it is in, this SJW era. I thought it was just going to be the cool third company, a lot of action, and it was for a long time. And then, the SJW started infecting it, and you got things like, Saga, which is good, but it has like deep SJW roots. And then you start getting like Eric Larson losing his mind on Savage Dragon, which, yeah, he wants it to be the longest running comic book by a creator ever, but when you're selling like 3,000 copies to the US, to the world a month, do you effectively have zero audience? But yeah, a lot of people said it would be gone in a couple years, but here it is. We're at 300. This is beautiful. I mean, this thing had a lot of different covers, which I don't like. I don't like bilking the audience with a bunch of multiple covers. But I guess for like a 300 issue or 1,000 issue, it's sort of excusable. The Superman issue had that Action Comics had a lot of different covers. The Marvel Comics 1000, which is not really Marvel Comics 1000, is just like something Marvel made up because all the cool kids were doing it, and then they got to go along with the as Mayor Quimby says, if that is the way the winds are blowing, let it not be said that I do not also blow. And yeah, that's Marvel Comics in a nutshell. I think we're coming to the end of Al Simmons as a Hellspawn, and you even see his meter in this get really low because of things he does. But this kind of sets up the next chapter, the next things that are going to be going on. The artwork is beautiful. The writing is, if you're just coming back to Spawn like I am right now, it's going to be a little confusing, but confusing in the good way, because now I'm going to go back and, like I said in the first part of this video, I'm just going to go collect all the Spawns. It's something I loved from when I was a kid, and the quality was always good. But yeah, I think I'm going to go through and do kind of a retrospective and look through all of these. These characters were in the first one, as I showed you in the first part. But I mean, their networks are different. This guy and this guy's networks are different, but they're still the same guys. And these guys are sort of the weather vane of. They sort of clue you into the world going on in Spawn and some of the news. He was an entertainment guy, she was straight news, and he's always been like the conspiracy theorist. And so it kind of shows you that even back then in the 90s, we had people like this. It wasn't just created with Alex Jones. There's a couple different characters that I didn't recognize in here, but it's really cool. And they show, like, I'm not even going to spoil the end with Spawn, with Al Simmons Spawn, but gotta admit, pretty dope. I want to show, there's another part I want to go to, but it sort of shows, I guess somebody else was a Hellspawn as well, and is kind of bringing him back into the fold. And there's a creation of a new Spawn in this. Here is Jay Scott being Jay Scott. He got to do a chapter, and like I said, it's a big book when Jay Scott comes back and is doing interiors instead of just a cover. But yeah, Jay Scott artwork always beautiful. Jay Scott, keep doing what you're doing, man. I love your work. Yeah, I'm actually gonna skip over the rest of this because this is, once again, you don't get a very long video out of a good comic book. I think you guys should go get this. I think we're gonna see another elevation, another chapter of Spawn coming back. Todd McFarlane is definitely in works, talking about a new movie, talking about a couple animated series. I think we're gonna see a resurgence of Spawn, and it's about freaking time. But Todd McFarlane has also said some really interesting things about comics, and the people over at Clownfish TV, go check them out. They did a really good video explaining this. But at a Comic-Con, McFarlane basically said that this old model is sort of gone, and the big two are going. He sort of hinted that the big two are going to be, everything's bought up. The big two are going to become stale because they're more corporate. They're more giant corporate owned now. And but he said comics are still. He said something, and it's really funny that he said something that DNC and all the Comicsgate guys sort of echo and have already been putting into practice. Comics are never going to go away as an art form, as a unique American art form. They're never going to go away. Just the way that they're delivered to people is going to change, whether it be a website or web comics, which I find kind of cringy. Most web comics I've seen have been kind of shit. But except for one, I'll put the link to it in the description. You guys are going to freak out when you see this. You're like, oh, that's pretty dope. But yeah, it's kind of talking about the way that it's going to be delivered. And maybe he was mentioning, he might have been alluding to digital, but we've known, for the past 5 years that digital is just never going to catch on, because it's one thing to look at this on your iPad, no matter how beautiful your iPad is, how beautiful the resolution is. There's a difference between looking at it here and, touching it, feeling the texture. There's sort of a rough matte texture on this cover. The pages, just the build of the whole comic book, and it shows sort of the money and the love that went into it. As you touch this comic book, and then you touch something like, Ignited from that shill company or not shill, that fraud company that Mark Waid is doing right now. He's basically bilking French investors out of money because they think they're going to get into Hollywood. But that's never going to go away. The want to touch this. I don't think this one, I'm probably not going to get this one graded, but Spawn number one, the Spawn number one I showed you earlier, I'll probably get it graded, and I'll probably have it up on the walls of the man cave over where the desk is going to go. But yeah, that's all I got. There's the color. That's the color I went with. I love that green color. It's called Green Energy, and here's someone who uses green energy, Spawn. But tell me what you think. Tell me what you think of McFarlane's comments on that. I will try to link to the article, but it's a CBR article, so they're kind of hard to find. Plus, I just don't like going to CBR. But anyway, you guys go have a good day. Go out and buy this, and go out and put this back on your pull list, because it's always been quality, and it's still quality, and I think we're going to see sort of a resurgence of it in the next few years. But that's all I got for this one. Thank you, everybody. Go out and have a good day, and I got to get back to some painting. Bye.